This course is presented to you free of charge by TTJ Tech Services of www.ttjtech.biz and by Stir It Up of www.stiritup.com. And remember, stir is spelled with a U, not an I, so that's STURITUP.com. TTJ Tech Services and Stir It Up are pleased to offer this course to you to the glory of God and to the benefit of all those who listen. Praise the Lord, and we are excited to welcome you to class today for iPad for All Computing session number 19. Can you believe that? Yeah, we're going back into Apple Pages today, as you might expect, and as promised. And today we're going to look at some of the other options, some more advanced things in Pages here. One of the things I've not really talked much about is the reader mode. We did mention it, and it does allow you to read without editing. And if you're not looking to make any changes, it's a great way to just skim through your document. If you've not opened a document in a while, it will automatically open in reader mode, but we can always put it in reader mode as well by swiping over here to the right.
More reading view button.
And we can double tap reading view.
Entered reader mode. Reading view. Edit button.
Now notice that the reading.
Use this button to exit reader mode.
Okay, notice that the reading view button now becomes the edit button. Listen to that again.
Edit button. Use this button to exit reader mode.
And that's just one swipe to the left of the canvas.
Canvas. Reader mode on. Body. Keyboard test document. All about keyboards and pages. What we will test. Basic navigation.
Remember we wrote all that? Now, if we want to return to the edit mode where we can make changes, we either are going to double tap this.
Edit button. Use this button to exit reader mode.
The other way we can do this is with a magic tap, a 2-finger double tap. That's for voiceover users only. Guys, I have to apologize. I was muted. Okay, all right. So we're all good now once again. You know, every every once in a while in life, you do something that just reminds you and everybody else that you are human and that you are a work in progress and that you're not, you don't have it all mastered, right? And I just did one such thing. How many times have I said to you, we're not going to do a magic tap because that's going to end the Zoom call? Well, that's exactly what I did, as you probably figured out by now. So we are back. Ordinarily, if we're not on a Zoom call, we can magic tap. But because we have been reminded so clearly, we're just going to hit this edit button here.
Edit button.
And that will put us
Use this button to exit reader mode.
back in the edit mode.
Exited reader mode.
Okay.
Edit. More
All right.
button.
Perfect. All right. So I just wanted to go over that with you first because that is a great way to read through your documents without editing. And again, if you haven't opened a document in a long, long time and you come back to it, it's automatically going to open in reader mode. So we're in our document here. Let's go over to the canvas.
Reading view button. Canvas. Body. Keyboard body. Text field is editing. Keyboard test list item bullet. Additional commands. Additional end of text. Additional commands. New line.
Put a couple of blank lines there. We're outside of the list. And we're going to look at a couple of things today. The first one I want to look at is I want to look at inserting different types of, we want to look at inserting shapes and inserting media. Now, if you were able to attend our freeform lab last week, then you already know what a shape is. Just in case you didn't, or for those who might want a refresher, a shape is kind of like a clip art, okay? Kind of like clip art images. And they ship quite a few of them. And they're basically the same in Pages as they are in freeform. So we'll just find one quickly. There are all sorts of categories for these. So you're going to swipe to the left until you hear insert shape.
Reading more for undo share insert media insert shape button.
And let's see what we've got.
Search button.
We've got a search button if we know what we're looking for. And remember, This is the same idea as what we had in freeform.
Selected. Basic. Button. Geometry. Button. Objects, animals, nature, food, symbols, education, arts, science, people, places, activities, transportation, work, button, ornaments, button.
And that's it. Then you're going to swipe to the right and you're actually going to find the shapes in the category that you've selected above. And you can also swipe through the categories with a three-finger scroll, like the swipe gesture to the left and to the right. So let's go back and pick animals this time, just for something fun.
Arts, education, food, nature, animals, button, selected, horse, ornaments, horse. Double tap to insert. Swipe left or right with 3 fingers to change pages.
So we can pick, so we have a horse, we have
cow, pig, sheep, goat, donkey, ox, rabbit, chicken, rooster, turkey, duck, goose, bird.
I mean, I could keep going.
To insert.
I don't know how many there are, so for the sake of time, we'll just look at another category.
Nature, tree.
I got that by doing
tap to insert.
I got that by doing a three-finger swipe to the left. We're on the page of nature now.
Or tree, evergreen, bonsai tree, palm tree, sapling, fern, leaf, leaf.
Again,
double tap to insert.
There's probably tons of these. Again, a three-finger swipe to the left is going to bring me to the next category.
Food, apple, banana, strawberry, pear, avocado, cherry, grape, lemon/lime wedge, tomato, pepper, green pepper, carrot, pea pods, corn, broccoli, bread, baguette, pretzel.
You get the idea. Any of these things we want to insert. So let's go back and insert something from animals.
Nature, tree, animals, tree, dictation, font size, bird, blue jay, raven.
Oh,
blue jay.
Let's insert a blue jay.
Tap to insert.
Okay, that's what we'll do.
Canvas, selected, blue jay, text field. Double tap to edit. 0 points close to selection's top edge, vertically centered, size, 2.4 inches wide, 1.6 inches tall, position, horizontally centered, 36.9% from top. Double tap to edit. Use the rotor to access document headings, links, misspelled words, comments, highlights, nearby elements, bookmarks.
Now, if you're listening on the podcast or on the YouTube channel and you missed any of that, I would highly encourage you to rewind a couple of seconds and go back and listen to all that again, because what you're going to find out is that VoiceOver does an excellent job of describing to you the position and the size of the image. But as I mentioned with Freeform, I personally think with stuff like this that it's a great idea to get a pair of eyes to look at this with you. If you have sighted family, as I do, praise God, ask one of them to help you. If not, a friend or a coworker, or even if you were to call Ira or Be My Eyes, right, on another device, and you say, hey, I just, want you to look at this, or you call and do a screen share if they let you. I've even called Apple in a case where everybody was asleep already, because I tend to work late at night, and it was one of those things where I really needed a definitive answer because I was going to go into a meeting the next morning with a presentation and I needed to make sure it was right. So I asked Apple if they would basically just allow me to share the screen and watch the, excuse the puppies there, and if they would just watch the presentation and make sure that it was as I thought it was. And they were more than happy to do that. So, you could do that, but you want to get this verified, because there's a lot of this that's very, very visual, very spatial, and it matters. We don't want to have things in the wrong place. But it's entirely possible to move things around. It's fully accessible. It's just whether or not it makes sense to you. But yes, it's fully accessible. You heard VoiceOver announce the position. If we swipe left and right here.
Middle right shape handle, W, 2.41 in H, 1.58 inches, adjustable. Double tap and hold, then drag to resize. Swipe up or down with one finger to adjust the value.
So there's an example, right, where we have the shape handle, we have where its width and its height are, and how to move them and resize them, so you can do all of this. But again, it's just whether or not it's going to make sense spatially to you.
Lower left shape handle, W, lower middle shape, lower right shape, lower right, lower middle, selected, blue J, text field. Double tap to edit.
And there's the
0 points close to selection's top edge, vertically centered.
there's the actual object itself. It's the blue jay that we inserted from the shapes library or uh, um, the shape gallery. And so when we do that, what we can do is because it's selected already. So this is something that you need to understand. When you insert an object, it automatically selects that object. And again, listen to that.
Selected, blue J, text field. Double tap to edit. Selected, blue J.
See, it says selected. All right. So because it's selected now, I can use my rotor.
Add comment, add title, add caption, format.
And you'll notice that there's a format option in the rotor. And I can actually just double tap on format.
Selected, style, button, 1 of 3.
Now, we've played a lot in the format menu already, right? When we were formatting text, we always went to the format menu to choose whether things were bold, italics, centered, what color they were, font size. But now, because we have an object selected, which in this case happens to be our shape, we are going to see entirely different formatting options than what we saw when we were formatting text. So our first category here under format was
Selected, style, button, 1 of 3.
style, and it tells you there are 3 categories. You have style,
Text, button, arrange, button,
and
3
then
of 3.
they actually have the text options there, even though I don't know if they'll be the same because the object is an image that's selected. But look at style.
Black 0, cyan blue 50, green 70, no stroke, button, cyan blue 53, no stroke.
These
button.
are,
Black 0, no stroke.
it's possible to have like borders and shadow, fill colors, in the background and so on.
Green 70, dark red 30, no stroke. Yellow orange magenta, fill, fill, black 0, button, border, switch button, off.
We can put
Double tap to toggle setting.
borders on there.
Shadow, switch button, off.
We can have
Double
shadow.
tap, reflection, switch opacity. Opacity, 100%, adjustable, title and caption, button.
So actually you can adjust all of those things, the opacity, every, and then you have this button here that says title and caption.
Canvas, title and caption, button.
And if we double tap that,
title, switch button, off. Caption, switch button, off. Caption,
okay,
switch button,
so we can
off.
turn those on as well.
Dismiss pop-up.
We'll dismiss that.
Title and caption, opacity.
Now,
Back button. Undo. Select more. Reading view. Selected. Style. Text. Button. 2 of 3.
if we select text,
Heading not found. Selected. Text. Arrange. Paragraph style. Heading.
see, now we're back to the text options, but you also have arrange.
Arrange. Paragraph. Arrange. Button. Selected. Arrange. Move to /front. Heading. Move element backward. Dimmed. Button. Move element backward and forward. 1 of 1. Dimmed. Move element forward. Dimmed. Size and position. Heading. W, H, X, Y. Width, 2.41 inches. Adjustable. Height, 1.58 inches. X position, 3.0. Y constrain proportions. Switch button, on. Rotate, button. Rotate, 0. Flip horizontally. Flip vertically. Align and distribute. Heading.
So again, I'm not going to go through all of these for the sake of time, but just look at all the different options that we have there for this particular object. And we can even adjust here its width and its height and all of that. That's all in the format menu under arrange. We can arrange it so that it's back or front. All of these things can be adjusted. And this is where, again, having somebody look at this to help you to get it the best position it can possibly be, that probably makes a tremendous amount of sense. Now we will scrub out of that. Actually, all we need to do is deselect.
Body. 12 extra space. Automatic. Button.
See.
Image. Extra space. Heading. 12 points. Adjustable.
See, look at that.
Body.
But we're going to
12 points. Keyboard table of
go back here. We're going to
share. Undo. Selected. Format.
format is selected right now. We'll just deselect it.
Format.
and that takes care of it. Now,
Reading canvas.
again,
Lower left, upper middle left shape hand. Selected. Blue J. Text field.
that's selected. Now, if you want,
Drag item. Deselect all.
we can deselect it. That's in the rotor. I just swiped up in the rotor, and I can double tap there. Now it's not selected.
Blue body. Blue J.
Okay.
365.
That way we can keep typing and keep working here. And if I
Body. Keyboard insertion point dead end. End of new Blue J. Inline. Attachment.
see that,
Blue J. New end of
I
text.
can
New
even use
line.
my arrow keys and it'll show me where that blue jay is. Now, the next thing I'll do is I'll insert something else. I want to show you the insert media option in the menu because that has a lot of really cool things you can insert. So let's go over to insert media.
Reading more. Form. Undo. Share. Insert media. Button. Photo or video.
Okay, so photo or video, which of course is going to come from your photos library.
Camera.
Camera, which again, you're going to take a picture or a video right now to insert it in if you want to do that. So you can use the camera.
Record audio.
We can record audio into this project. I don't know that that would work with us being on Zoom, but normally we can record audio right into our Pages document if we so choose.
Web video.
Web video, so you can put like a URL to, let's say, a YouTube or Vimeo video, for example, right here. All you'll have to have is the URL.
Image gallery.
Image gallery. This is really cool because the image gallery allows us to have a series of images that people can just flip through. And so we put them all as one object, but we're going to insert a number of images into that gallery. That's really a nice feature.
Insert from.
And then insert from is going to allow you to have access to your iCloud Drive, to your Files app right here within Pages, and you can insert virtually any kind of supported media, whether it's a video, audio, whatever it may be, and it will just be able to be inserted right into your Pages document.
Drawing.
You can insert a drawing, and when you do this, it's going to allow you to draw with the Apple Pencil if you have one, or with your finger.
Equation.
You can insert an equation.
Outdent. Dim.
And that's it for the insert options there under insert media. And so if, for example, we pick one, let's go back and do photo or video.
Photo or video. Cancel. Button.
All right. Talked about this a little bit when we did freeform, but let's take a look at this.
Selected. Photos. Button. Favorites. Button. Utilities. Imports. Media types. Videos. Selfies. Live photos.
You're seeing all these different categories of photos and videos, and you know, that's your typical albums and media types. But if we touch the right-hand side of the screen,
private access to photos. You close. Learn more. Photo. Time. 2:18 a.m. A screenshot of a social media post with text and an image of Matthew post. Live photo. Date. April 28th. Time. 3:17 p.m. A smiling person wearing a yellow shirt and posing for a photo in front of a house. Maybe Matthew.
this is very nice because this gives you your image descriptions, it gives you the dates of them, and everything like that. So it works really, really well. Now, in case you didn't listen to our freeform experience lab, I did advise people that it's not a bad idea to make, especially voiceover users, it's not such a bad idea to make an album that's just for this project. So if you're making a Pages document, you know it's going to have several images in it. You could go into your Photos app first and create a special album just for this purpose so that you know exactly what photos are in it, because you can play a little more with your photos in the Photos app and, you know, listen to live photos and stuff. But the nice thing is here, praise God, we do get the image descriptions in Pages. So you don't necessarily need to make the album, but it's just, this is you know, that's another way to help you maybe. But if we like this photo, we just double tap it to insert it, right?
Selected. Canvas. Selected. Image. Double tap to edit image mask. Use the rotor to access document headings, links.
Okay, this image is selected, and again, we have special options in the rotor now.
Add comment. Add title. Add caption. Format. Deselect all. Explore image. Drag item. Activate. Add title. Add caption.
And we will
Format.
format and show you.
Selected. Style. Button. 1 of 3. Image button. Arrange button.
Notice
Screen
that
3.
in this particular case, text is not even an option in the formatter, but image is. So if we want to format this image,
Image button. Selected. Image
we
2 of
select that.
3.
Now we go to the right.
Edit mask button. Reset mask. Dimmed. Remove background button. Replace button.
Replace would allow us to choose a different image.
Description button.
Let's look at these.
Set as placeholder. Canvas. Box. Description button.
Now I want to show you description. Let's go to that.
This description is used by assistive technology, such as voiceover.
So
Heading.
we did this in freeform. We can actually put a friendly description here.
Type to enter text. Text field. Heading not found. Insertion point at end.
And we're going to be able to type. And I know exactly what this photo is. It was from yesterday. We were all outside, and we were out. It was, praise God, it was so beautiful out. My daughter took a picture of me because I had just put a bunch of suntan lotion on, and she said I had a lot of suntan lotion on my face. So we're going to just put that.
T. Space. Space. K.
Okay. And we'll swipe over here.
Canvas. This descript image. Reading view.
Well, let's
This
see.
text can blue jet upper left upper
Is there a
middle left
done
him
button?
middle lower keyboard canvas body new
I'm not seeing a done button. Maybe I
select
just have
middle
to.
left image upper blue jet body keyboard text field is editing matte with sunblock insertion point at end.
Maybe I just have to press return.
Use the rotor new line
Nope,
block
that's not going to do it.
new line.
Okay. I wonder.
Canvas text field is editing matte. This description is used by assistive technology. Description button.
I just scrubbed out of it. Let's see if that saved it.
Can blue jay upper left image upper right image middle left image selected matte with sunblock image.
Yep, that worked.
Double tap to edit image mask. Use the rotor to access document headings, links, misspelled words, comments, highlights, nearby elements, bookmarks. A smiling person wearing a yellow shirt and blue jeans standing in front of a white building, maybe Matthew.
And we still get the image description as well, praise God. But see, that did work to just scrub out of it then after we titled it or put the description, and it now reads that as well.
Selected matte with sunblock image.
Now, supposing that we wanted to insert something else entirely, like you could insert, we saw that we could insert a web video, for example. We saw that we could insert basically anything. You could record audio. If I do a web video, I don't know necessarily about the copyright. I don't think it's supposed to matter because if we're just watching it on YouTube, we're not claiming it's our own. But rather than even potentially risk that, I will do something else. I'll just insert an audio clip of something that I know happens to be royalty free. So let's go back to insert media once again.
Selected middle left body. Set this reset edit math more.
Now all these options are here because I still have the formatter selected.
Selected format button more selected
So
format.
we'll deselect that.
Insert me photo or record audio image insert draw insert from cancel button.
Let's get a little sound clip.
Nav more recents but shared recently used 2000 audio files but selected audio files 22 and 29 page 2 of 2019 page 3 of 2020 page capture audio page apple offline backpack bottom byte crunch book music intro buzz capture book music intro
Well, we could
audio.
use that. That's the intro music for the Titanic book that I wrote. That's definitely not something we have to worry about copyrights for, so we'll just double tap that.
Selected book music intro audio /.
And when we do insert from, it doesn't just insert it, it selects it. You then have to go up to the top of the screen and hit open.
Con 2 audio colors of the world 2 colors of the world. Confess 5.
Try not to make too much sound on the iPad when I touch it, but I need to use my hand to get up higher here, so hold on a second. Excuse the sound.
Confess 10 cancel more recents. Confess 5 page 7 of capture page 2 of 20 page 1 22 016 1
There we go.
01 right open button.
We'll just hit open.
Open.
And now,
Canvas. Selected. Book music intro. Audio. 1 minutes. 0.853 seconds.
and so,
Double tap to play audio. Use the
and I still have format options. The format options now will be specific to the audio clip. You can loop the audio, do different things like that. But if I just double tap it, we can hear what it sounds like. Okay, so that's our audio. Now, if there's any object in here that we decide we don't want in here, oh, I had to double tap to stop playing. Okay, so there we go. Now, if there's any object in here that we do not want in this document, what we do is we select it first.
selected. Mat with sunblock. Selected. Book music intro.
You notice right now that two things are selected. So that's going to present an issue if we don't fix that. So I'll swipe up or down here with the rotor.
4. Deselect all.
Deselect all. Now I'll select one thing. Let's say we no longer wish to have.
Selected. Mat with book music intro. Audio. 1 minute. 0.853.
Okay, so we just have my image selected.
Selected. Mat with sun. Blue Jay. Selected. Mat with book music intro. Audio.
Let's deselect the image.
Add cap. Blue Jay. Selected. Mat with sunblock. Image. Select. Add title.
All right, it says select instead of deselect, so
Book music. Activate. Selected. Book mute. Selected. Move. Select. Add to selection. Move to selected item. Add to selection. Add title. Add caption. Moved. Activate. Selected. Mat with sunblock. Add title. Add cap. Format. Deselect all. Book music. Selected. Mat with sun.
okay. So if I wanted to delete this now, what I do
Selected. Selected. Mat with sunblock.
is I
Middle. Selected. Mat with
turn the rotor to edit,
bookmark. Nearby. Highlight. Comments. Misspelled links. Document. Edit.
and I swipe down.
Remove background. Copy. Select object. Comment. Link. Cut. Select all. Format. Delete.
And there's the delete option. So if I double tap on that option, it will delete the selected object.
Deleted image.
Okay?
Body. Keyboard.
So now if you look,
Blue Jay. Book music intro.
we only have two objects in there, not three. We've removed the third one. So again, the procedure to delete something that is an object like an image or a sound file or a video is to first select it by double tapping on it, then you might need to swipe away from it and swipe back to it, like just, swipe once to the left and then back to the right. And then turn your rotor to edit and swipe up or down until you hear delete and double tap. And that's how easy it is then to remove an object that you did not really want. Now, it's going to be important to remember these things for next week, actually for Wednesday also, because Wednesday we're going to get into using Apple Keynote. And so you're going to want to be able to do these kinds of manipulations with objects, but also tomorrow in our Pages lab, you're going to need to know how to do some of this. So that's how we insert different things, but you can collaborate. Both people can edit, make changes. That's a really useful feature. You do that under Share. Once you hit Share, just make sure it says Collaborate and choose whether you want the collaborators to be able to make changes or only view the document. And you can specify whether you want to use a link or whether you want to just only invite people to the document. And again, if you're going to have other people editing with you, I highly recommend you say only invited people. If you're going to use the link, then I recommend you make it read only. But you can, you can collaborate, and I do that quite frequently with my mom who does my design work because it's so easy to, to work together, and we can both see what the other's doing and make changes as we need to. And so collaboration, I just can't stress enough how useful that is. There's also a feature in here, and if we go to the More button,
Blue Jay. Body. For more. Button. Find. Button. Smart annotation. Change tracking. Presenter mode. Button.
we'll talk a little about this presenter mode. This will make your document text only. It's going to remove the images and stuff. Not permanently remove them. Once you get out of presenter mode, they're back. But presenter mode will hide the images and the videos and so on. But what you will have is this enlarged, like full screen view of the text of your document, really big, which is useful for when you are showing a document on a slide, maybe projector or something like that. So that's a nice feature, presenter mode.
Bookmarks button.
There's your bookmarks.
Mail merge button. Settings button. Help
And
button.
there's help.
Collapsed.
Help is a great
Double tap.
onboard help system. So if you need to learn about things we didn't cover specifically, it'd be a great idea to look under there. You can do mail merge. You can do envelopes in this app. And again, if you want to get details about that, you can go to the help system. You can look that up. I do want to show you. Let's get out of this more menu.
Back button.
And let's go into. Let's go into the actions menu.
Keyboard Test 2024 Actions menu button. Keyboard Test 2000.
And again, I remind you, this is where you rename your document, where you print your document, and where you export your document. There's also a share button under here, but that's not the only way to do it. It's also on the main toolbar in the document. But I want to show you document options.
Share button. Pages document. Document options button.
And the reason I want to show you this is that maybe you need to do like page numbers or something. So we're going to talk about books a little bit here. And if you're writing a print book or a newspaper article or something, you might want to do columns for a newspaper article. That's under the format menu. But let's talk about page numbers. You're going to have to show your headers and footers to have page numbers. So what we need to do is go into the document options.
Document options. Document options. Collapsed. Document setup button. Set password button.
And you can have a password for your document, and we can also use document setup, which is what we're going to do.
Document setup button. Done button. Selected portrait button. An illustration of a mirror with a yellow frame.
The first thing this shows us is that it's a portrait document, which we already knew, but you have portrait or
landscape.
Button.
The next rectangular mirror. Paper size. Heading. Selected. Letter. A4. Custom size button.
So the normal letter size paper, we have 8.5 by 11. You can change that to the A4, which I suspect is the option you are going to use for doing envelopes. But you have a custom size as well, and then
headers switched button on. Footers switched button on. Document body switched button on.
Okay, that's the first step.
Double tap to toggle setting.
That's the first step in creating page numbers, is make sure that your headers and footers are turned on. Now you notice that the body is also on. When it's on, that means you have a word processing document, not a page layout document. If you want to change this to a page layout document, you turn the body off. And likewise, if you have a page layout document that you want to convert to a word processing document, you turn the body back on. But in this instance, we are actually good to go. Our headers and our footers are on, so the only thing to do...
Facing pages, switch button off.
And this is useful.
Double tap to toggle setting.
Yeah, this is important if you are writing a book, because facing pages means, in other words, like a book. Like I have text on the left side and on the right side. So if you're going to be really writing a book, you're going to want to turn the facing pages on as well. All right, so that's where you do that, facing pages. But now let's go to the right.
More options button.
And we need to look at this.
More options. Adjust margins, edit headers and footers, and add objects that you... more options. More options. Left header, undo, but format, dimmed, button.
Now listen to what we have.
Canvas, left header, text field. 8 points close to selection's bottom right corner, double tap to select.
So,
size, 0.0.
If, for example, I want to have...
header position, 0.5 inches, adjustable, center header, text field.
Page numbers here, I can double tap in one of these.
Center header, text field, is editing, right left, center, right footer, 8.5, outdent, indent, font family, keyboard, cap I, D, I, dictation, bold, but italic, underline, font size, align center, insert, but, line break, page number. Canvas, center header, text field,
so now,
is editing.
we're going to have our page numbers. Now, it's important too to understand that when you insert page numbers, they're gonna start with one, but you can also change that. And the other thing you can do is you can have document sections. You'll notice that under that insert button, you also had an option called section break. So maybe you have like a preface that is not actually numbered, but maybe it's like no numbers at all, or it's A, B, C, those kinds of things. And so you need to be able to know that you can insert document sections, and you can break the document into multiple sections so that you have, a preface and then your actual book content or whatever. And that's done through sections. Now let's just look at what we have and see if anything else needs our
compose button.
Our attention here.
Message done button. More options. Heading. Done. Insert button. Undo button. Format. Canvas. Left header. Center header. Text field is editing. Right header. Text left footer. Center footer. Right footer. 8.5 outdent. 8 left footer. Text field.
And I think there's some things in the rotor we should look at maybe.
Right header. Center header. Text field is editing. Edit. Characters, edit, typing mode, vertical padding, context, screen text, lock, word, edit.
I think it's under edit.
Page numbers.
Yeah. So what you find in the rotor is now under edit, you have an option called page numbers. See if there's anything else.
Select.
Okay.
Copy style. Select all page numbers.
Let's double tap on page numbers here.
Page numbers, head 1.
And let's look at what you have.
Page numbers, heading 1. 1 of 12. Page 1. Page 1 of 12. Outdent, dimmed, button.
There are 4 different styles there. That's what that's showing you. Pick the style of the page number that you want. And it showed you that one just says like 1, and then it said another one said like 1 of 12. Another one said page 1. So like I'm just going to choose
1.
This one that says 1.
Canvas, center header, text field is editing. Insertion point between and space at the second position.
Okay, so that's going to do automatic page numbering now. I don't have to insert this each time. I went in there and I chose page numbers and I chose the style I wanted. It's going to automatically number my pages. We don't have that many pages, but it would do it. And this is how you create page numbers automatically. You don't have to do anything else. Now, here's the thing. The process, again, might be a little bit overwhelming, so let me review it for you. The first thing we did was we went to document options, and that was found under the actions menu with the document name. And we went under document options, and then we said document setup. Once we did that, we just wanted to make sure that our headers and footers were turned on. And then I showed you that you could go into more options and you could adjust the size and positions of the header, and you could adjust the margin positions. They even had that in there. Maybe I'll show you that again because I went through that pretty quickly, but you could adjust margins in there. All right. Once I did that, we double tapped in the header we wanted to use. So we went into the center header. We could have used the right header. We could have used the right footer. It doesn't matter. You choose where you want your page numbers. That's up to you. And we double tapped and we used the edit rotor, the edit option in the rotor, and we went to page numbers and we double tapped, and we just chose the style by double tapping on it that we wanted. We chose 1 as opposed to like saying page 1 or something. We just have it saying 1, and it's positioned in the center header, bottom middle of the page again, or excuse me, top middle of the page. We could have had it on the left or on the right. You could have picked those, but I just picked center just to try it out. And that's how we inserted our page numbers, and they will automatically number. Just remember, like I said, if you need differences, you can have a different section if you want A, B, C, or Roman numerals maybe, or something like that for a forward or something. So you can easily do that by creating a section break, and then you can go to the section you want and you can insert page numbers there. Now,
left header, format, button, undo, button, format, right, left footer, center, right footer, 8.5 and outdent, dimmed, indent, font family, indent, dict, font size, align center.
I think we have
insert, done, button, done.
Let's just see if there's still
more insert, undo, Canvas, left header, center header, right header, top margin, 1 inch,
Yep,
adjustable.
that's we're still in that more options, and you can see that we can adjust the margins now too.
Left margin, 1 inch, adjustable. Right margin, 1 inch, bottom margin, 1 inch, left footer, text field, center footer.
And that's normally good. That's normally what you want, is an inch all the way around. But if you need to, you can use those adjusters there to adjust the margins within the document as well.
Done, button, done.
All right.
Back button.
Now, another thing that we have, let me show you this.
View keyboard, table of contents, button.
We have not talked about this table of contents. This is like a thumbnail page view, but you also can actually create a table of contents for your document. So this one,
Table of contents, what we will test. What we will edit, button. Table of contents, heading, edit, button.
they believe
What we will test.
that what we will test is going to be the first thing in the table of contents. And the reason for that is because we used heading text. And so if we want to edit this,
Edit, button, done. Select style, select which paragraph styles appear in the table of contents, and adjust their indentation levels.
okay,
Heading.
and you remember the, what was I thinking? You remember the paragraph style discussion, I'm sure. And so you can select which ones.
Title, indentation level 0, adjustable. Subtitle, selected. Heading, heading 2, heading 3.
See, so you can select right now
0,
the heading.
selected. Heading, indentation level 0, adjustable.
That's what's going to be in the table.
Swipe up or down.
All
Title,
right, so let's
done. Button,
hit done on that. And again,
what edit? What we will add table of contents. Heading.
Now.
Edit. What we will test.
And
Indent. Activate. Indent. Activate.
so you
Default.
actually can indent there from the rotor as well.
Table of contents. Heading. Table
When you're
of
done,
contents.
you can scrub.
Heading. Back button. View option. Keyboard. Table of content. Insert table. Button. Insert chart. Insert shape. Insert media. Share. Undo. Format. Dim. More. Button. Reading view. Done. Button. Selected. Document. Button. Section. Selected. Portrait. Button. Section. Button.
And if we look
2
under
of 2.
section here,
Selected. Background. No fill. Headers and footers. Heading. Hide on first page. Switch button. Off. Match previous section. Switch button. On. Page numbering. Button. Canvas. Left. Page numbering.
So-
Page numbering. Heading. Numbering. Heading. Selected. Continue from previous page. Start at. 1. Dimmed. Format. Heading.
see, so we can select what page number the page numbering starts at even.
Selected. 1, 2, 3. I, 2, 3. I, 2, 3.
And if you need to check that, you can read it with Control Option Shift right arrow.
I, comma, comma, I.
That's what I figured it was, Roman numerals. And this one,
I, 2, 3, cap I, comma,
it's uppercase versus lower.
A, B, C.
See, so we can choose all of those things. And then when we're finished,
Cap, number, page numbering, heading, numbering, heading,
scrub.
numbering, head, page numbering, match hide, head, back, selected, document, done, button,
It done.
Canvas, left header, text field. 8 points close to selections bottom right, reading view, more, format, dimmed, undo, share, insert media, insert shape, insert chart, button, insert table, button.
Let's just look at that just to show you.
A group of white squares, basic table, light gray row headers, plain table, empty body cell, headers and footers table, page 1 of 6, page 1,
See, so
headers table,
different kinds of tables we can insert.
button.
Now we have
View option. Keyboard test 2000. Table. Share. Undo. For. More. Reading view. Canvas. Left header. Text field.
there's
8 points close to select.
there's another header there.
Left header. Text field. Is editing. Character. Edit. Copy style. Page numbers. Page number.
And again, you could put page numbers in there, but we already have them in the center header. So that's kind of, and then just to show you, if you're not sure about something, you can always look it up, like this help system here.
Smirking face.
Oop,
Emoji search
there
hidden.
we go. All
Pages.
right.
Canvas.
So
Center. Left. Right. Left. Format. Undo.
if we go to
Button.
more,
Insert. More options. Done.
there's
Button.
done
Done.
there, because, okay.
Done. More options. Done. But done.
All right.
Back button.
Now
Insert. Insert. Insert media. Share. Undo. Format. More. Button.
we can go to help.
Find. Present bookmark. Mail. Settings. Help. Customize toolbar. Help. Help.
And so if we,
Collapsed. Pages help. Button.
one of the things we can do,
What's new in pages? Pages help. Show
pages,
table of contents. Dimmed.
there's a
Button.
show table of contents button.
Show table of contents. Button. Show table.
And that's how easy it
Selected. Hide.
is to search and to find things. So now I'm on the table of contents.
Help. Done. Button. Search. Dictate. Welcome. What's new in pages 14.0? Pages basics. Section. Button. Add text. Button. Add button. Add text. Section. Button. Format text. Section.
You notice some of these are sections, some of them are topics.
Button. Pages basics. Section. What's new in pages 14.0? Topic.
That's a topic you can read.
Pages basics. Section.
That's a section you can expand.
Pages basics. Section. Button.
Underneath it,
Intro to pages. Word processing or page layout. Topic. Intro to images, charts, and other objects. Create documents and books. Button.
okay?
Find a document.
And some of these are categories again, or sections, and some of them are topics, but they're very, very thorough. So I would encourage you, and if you want to look up something specifically, just go over here to search.
What's new? Well, search. Search field. Search field.
Now, a minute ago we were talking about, I was telling you about the table of contents. Let's look that up.
S.
Okay.
Cancel. Search results. Table of contents. Topic. Button. Add or delete a table. Change table grid lines. Move table rows and columns.
So let's go to table of
Topic.
contents.
Table of contents. Table of, in progress. Used in your document. Create the for done button.
There's the done button when you're finished.
Create a table of contents and pages on iPad. Heading level 1.
All right, so this is what I was starting to get to, but I'll have it read it for you instead.
To make it easier to navigate your document, Pages generates an automatically updating table of contents, TOC. Entries in the TOC are the links, so you can tap a link to jump to that page.
And
In a
that's what I was showing you.
word processing document, you can also insert one or more automatically updating tables of contents into the pages of the document.
All right, that I didn't show you, so let's look up how to do that.
The TOC is based on paragraph styles, link,
Yep, we showed you that, and there's a link if you want to learn what paragraph styles are.
used in your document. For example, if you apply the heading paragraph style to your chapter titles, then enable the heading style for the TOC, those chapter titles appear in the TOC.
And that's
As
exactly
you edit your content, the TOC updates automatically.
what we had.
If you export the document in PDF or EPUB format, the TOC is included for reader apps, such as Apple Books, that support navigation.
Okay, and I was going to get to that, but that's good.
Create a table of contents, button, heading level 2, collapsed.
All right, let's look how to create
Double
one
tap to
that appears in the document.
expand. Create it expanded. You can choose which paragraph styles to include in the table of contents and change the indentation. If you haven't already done so, list start. Apply paragraph styles to the text you want to appear in the table of contents. Tap the table of contents button, image,
Yep, just like we did.
and at the top of the screen. The
Oh, I
table
think
of contents button,
we were going to hear a
image,
description there.
an orange logo on a white background, list.
Cool.
To modify the TOC, tap Edit in the top right corner of the table of contents, then do any of the following.
Yep, that's exactly what we did.
Change which paragraph styles are enabled, list start.
Showed you that.
Tap the circle next to paragraph styles you want to include. Change the indentation of entries. Tap the Indent or Outdent button to the right of a selected style. If a button is dimmed, you can't move the entry in that direction. List end. To close the select style controls when you're finished making changes, tap Done. List end.
Yep.
To close the table of contents, tap anywhere in the document.
Right.
If you're to
Whoop.
close the table of
Let's let it
contents,
read that.
tap anywhere in the document. If you're sharing the document with others, link.
And these are all links. When it says that, you know you can read about that then.
Any changes you or others make to the table of contents don't appear in the TOC until you close and reopen it. Insert a table of contents into a word processing document. Button. Heading level 2. Collapsed.
Now we know how to
Double tap to expand.
control what appears in the table of contents, but how do you get it into the document? Well, let's expand this.
Insert a table of contents. Expanded. In a word processing document, you can add a table of contents for the whole document, or for each section, link, or part of the document. If you haven't already done so, list start. Apply paragraph styles. Link to the text you want to appear in the table of contents. Tap the table of contents button, image, at the top of the screen. Tap edit in the top right corner. When you're finished, tap the document to close the controls.
Okay, we did that before.
Tap in the document to place the insertion point, link, where you want to place the table of contents. Tap the table of contents button, image, comma. Then tap Insert Table of Contents at the bottom of the Table of Contents view. Note: if you don't see the Table of Contents button, make sure you place the insertion point. If you still don't see the button, your document may be a page layout document, not a word processing document, and you can't add a table of contents to it. The Table of Contents view with Edit in the top right corner. The TOC appears in the document at the insertion point and is outlined in blue to show it's selected. A table of contents inserted into a document. Do any of the following. Designate a range for the TOC, list start. If you're adding more than one TOC, tap the Format button, image, comma, then tap an option for this TOC, entire document, the section, or until next table of contents.
Okay, and we could go on, but
Show back, for done, button.
let's
Show
put
table
that,
of content, right, body, keyboard test document, body,
put this to
text
the
field,
test
is
here.
editing, keyboard test document, Blue J, body, keyboard test document, all about keyboards and pages. What we will test, right head, body, keyboard body, text field, is editing, keyboard test document, Blue J, book music, body, keyboard test document, all about keyboards and pages. What we will test, page 1 of 2, body, keyboard test, body, text field, is edited, book, activate, characters, new line, inline, object, inline, space. Blue, body, text field, is edited, right, body, text field, body, text characters, list item bullet, new S, D, word, comma, additional, character, cap K,
Okay, so
kilo, E, what, blue, body, page form, active, Blue
I want to
J,
go.
body, keyboard test, body, text field, is editing, keyboard test document, canvas, insertion point at end, double tap to edit, add comment, text page book, activate, insertion point at start.
Okay. And is it? Let's see.
Left, reading view, set right, body, blue, body, keyboard test document, all about keyboards and pages, body, text field, is editing, keyboard test doc, add comment, activate, insertion point at start.
It says the insertion point is at the start now.
Right, center, left, reading, more, format, undo, share, insert, table of contents, what we will test, insert table of contents.
And there it is.
Button.
There's the insert table of contents button, just like they said it would be. So if I double tap that.
Canvas, selected, text box, what we will test. 2, text field.
And you heard it's a text box because it's the table of contents.
Left, selected, text box.
I'm supposed to be able now to format that.
Format. Table of contents.
That was the rotor.
Range, heading, selected, entire document.
And that's exactly how they said it would appear.
This section.
And I could just change that and say this section, but we only have one section in this document.
Customize styles.
We can
Button.
customize the styles. So
Styles match the
what we'll do
table.
is just deselect the formatter.
Table reading more selected format.
Okay, but praise God, that's how you do it. It's exactly as they said it would be in the help system. So we did a test there. I put the insertion point at the beginning of the document, and I put the I brought up the table of contents and swiped right, and there was an insert table of contents button, just like they said there would be in the help system. And then we were able to once we did that, we were able to format the table of contents so that we could say it included the entire range of the document. So as you can see, the help system is very useful as well and very good. And there's even a section within the help system for voiceover users specifically. Now, it's not going to give you all the details about how to use it, but it's going to give you some basic pointers for using the Pages app with voiceover. So that's a good thing as well. So let's talk a little bit about writing books here. The very first thing to understand is there are obviously two kinds of books you can write. You can write, physical print books, soft cover, hard cover, whatever, and you can also write digital books. Now, what I've been demonstrating here mostly pertains to physical print books. First of all, using the facing pages option and the page numbers, those are going to be things that apply to physical print books. Because when you get a book, that's what it's going to look like, right? It's going to have page numbers and it's going to have facing pages. So you have text on both the left and the right. A written table of contents that is actually readable by the user like that is also best suited for a print book, okay? And you notice that they're automatically generated based on paragraph styles. So what does that mean? That means I don't have to sit and manually type table of contents and then put a blank line, and then I don't have to manually type chapter 1 colon my life and then a whole bunch of dots and then page 17 chapter 2. I don't have to write that stuff because it's automatically going to generate the table of contents based on the paragraph style. And what's the default paragraph style that denotes a new chapter? It's the heading style. If you want to have subchapters, they're heading 2. And you can add other things to the table of contents as you saw if you don't want it to be just heading style, or if you want it to be not heading style at all but something else entirely. You can do that as well. So it's quite possible to customize this, but the great news is you don't have to manually create your table of contents. You can adjust it with the edit button, go into table of contents, and then you can hit edit and you can choose what appears in it, and you can insert all of those things that we just showed you and that we looked at. But that's how you get a table of contents in a print book. Now, what's the difference between a print book and a digital book? Well, actually quite a lot. Number one, digital books do not use page numbers as a general rule. And the reason for that is because they need to work on multiple screen sizes. If you take a digital book and put it on an iPhone versus an iPad versus other tablets, they're going to all have different numbers of pages because of the screen size. Therefore, EPUB, which is the digital book standard, EPUB, that's the open book standard, EPUB books are reflowable. That means the table of contents will automatically adjust the page number. So the last thing in the world you want to do is have actual page numbers in your document. You're also not going to use facing pages for digital books, and you're not going to insert, although some people do, you really don't need to, you're not going to insert a written table of contents. Now, you'll still go into table of contents and make sure that you have it set up the way that you want so it can auto-generate. Again, headings are usually the paragraph style that will determine or denote a new chapter. If you want to have sections, that's also possible. But again, you're going to you're going to use the paragraph style heading when you put a new chapter name. So if I write chapter 1, my story, my life, whatever, and that's part of my text when I write that, I format it with the paragraph style called heading. And you remember we did that in this document with the phrase what we will test. That's why it knows that's supposed to be a chapter, because that was heading style. So I could have done more of that. So in my Titanic book, there are 10 chapters, plus there's a foreword, there's dedications, there's a glossary, there's an image gallery, there's ending notes. Those are all, anytime you come to that phrase in the book, that is the heading style. So we have, for example, chapter 1 is called, now not everybody puts chapter names. Some people just put numbers, right? That's okay too. You can write chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. In my case, I put names to my chapters. So if you read my book, you'll see it say 1, where it all began. Well, that is heading style. And then I have a chapter number 2 called Impressively Grand, Incredibly Vulnerable. That's just got a 2, and then that chapter title, it's heading style. And what happens is then the table of contents is automatically generated when you use Apple Books to read it. It knows that when you hit the table of contents button, that's what it's going to show you. You can pick from those chapters. And if you use heading 2, those will be like a subsection within a chapter. So you can do all of that by simply applying paragraph styles. Remember I told you they were going to become important. That's why they're so important, because they really do matter in your book. And they matter for both print books and for digital books. Now, there is such a thing as a digital ebook that does not reflow, and that's called the fixed layout ebook. And Apple pioneered the fixed layout book specifically for books that are, again, sort of design centric, like a graphic novel, like a cookbook that has to have photos right at a certain place in the text, and graphic design in the books, and those kinds of things. Picture books, coffee table books. These are not reflowable if you choose to not have them be reflowable. Instead, what they are is they're fixed layout. The fixed layout ebook allows you to specify exactly where things are by design. These are usually going to be page layout documents. Their big advantage is that you can really determine where everything goes, and again, move things around the way you want. There are some additional features that they support. The big drawback is they're harder to work with, even for sighted folks, because now you have to make sure that everything is exactly where you say, and there are going to be specific page numbers, so you're a bit more constrained. I wrote a textbook a few years ago on human space exploration for a class that I created, and we decided, praise God, I was initially going to do fixed layout, because that's one of the big selling points. Everybody said, oh, fixed layout's going to be great for textbooks. And what they were thinking was you'd be able to be a teacher and go into a classroom with a room full of iPads, and you'd be able to say, okay, everybody turn to page 82, just like back in the days of print textbooks, right? And it would be super easy. And that's true. It is. The problem with that is, again, you are much restricted as to the types of devices that these things will work on, and you might even be restricted to portrait versus landscape mode. That will even cause differences then. And I didn't want to do that because I had no idea what schools were going to be using this textbook and this space course. When I created it, I knew that the school that we were going to be piloting it at, even though I had created everything in Apple, for use on Apple devices, I knew that the school I was first going into to pilot this did not have Apple devices, unfortunately. And at that time, it was even up in the air what they were going to have, because they were in the process of overhauling their tech department. And at that time, a lot of them were using like Windows laptops, believe it or not. And then they got Chromebooks. And I said, there is no way we're going to be able to do fixed layout, because I have no idea what kind of devices are going to be using this book. So we opted for the reflowable layout, using a word processing document, using the heading styles for the chapters. You can still insert photos. You can still insert image galleries, which are super cool, and I mentioned those to you a little bit ago. You can still insert audio and video. You can do all the same things. But now, the major thing was I just had to say to the teachers, okay, when you tell your students, when you want to tell them, turn to page 73, instead, you're not going to be able to do that. But you can say, today we're working in chapter number 6, and what I did was I actually subsectioned those chapters. So I said, okay, maybe chapter 6 was about the Apollo space program. So I had a section in there called the moon landing, a section in there called Apollo 13, a section in there called, Apollo 8, whatever. And so I said, all right, teachers, when you tell your students, instead of saying turn to page 73, just say turn to chapter number 6 with the subheading called the moon landing. And then everybody's in the same place, and it's still that easy. For some people, that could be page 27. For another person, that could be page 65. It doesn't matter. So that's the reflowable ebook. But they want you to have your images in line, 1-inch margins around. They're very, very specific. And when you think you're ready to try your ebook out, the first thing you do is you go to the export option under the actions menu and you choose EPUB. Once you choose EPUB, you're going to get a resulting EPUB file. It'll take just a few moments, and if there are any problems, you'll get a list of document warnings. And depending on what those document warnings are, they may or may not actually be an issue, but it's going to tell you any warnings that it's generated. And if it generates any cautions, any warnings, then you can address them if necessary. Or if you think you're good to go ahead, you can open that EPUB file in Apple Books and you can actually try it and see how the book renders and see if it looks right. Ask some people to look at it for you, see what it looks like, and make sure the table of contents works the way it's designed to, and everything else. If you've put web links, if you've put audio, video, you can check that all out. And then when you're ready, in the Pages app, also under the export menu, is an option called Publish to Apple Books. Now, there's going to be a couple steps there. You have to create like an iTunes seller account and, enter a lot of information the first time. I mean, once you've done it, it's kind of a once and done, set it and forget it thing. But you do have to, the first time, enter all that. And you have to enter your bank account number if you're charging for the book and that sort of thing. And, all that stuff. And it may take a little bit of time, but you can do it. And it's very doable. And then you can upload your book and put a cover image. You can put a description, and all the stuff, and you can sell your book on Apple Books. Now, the cover image has to be a separate file, and there are specifications for that. But when you're first creating your EPUB just to test it out, you can actually choose to use no image at all, or even use the first page of the book as a cover image, or you can upload another one. It doesn't matter. So that's just an option that you have. When you're creating a test EPUB, and you can distribute that test EPUB to other people too and let them try it out. But when you're ready to actually publish it to Apple Books, know that you'll have to have a separate file as the image for your book. And the very first time that I ever created a digital book, it was the first. Well, yeah, technically, because there was a one before that they did the work, but that when I first used Apple Pages on the Mac back in 2011 to write the Titanic book initially, I wasn't sure about the process. There were a lot of steps, and I really felt I needed advice. I didn't, I wasn't comfortable doing this myself. So what I decided to do was to use an aggregator, a third-party company that will submit the book for me. And they submitted to Apple and Amazon and Barnes and Noble and all these different companies. And what they asked me to do was just to send them the Pages document. At one time, they required Microsoft Word, but later on, they started also accepting Pages files. And so you'd send them the file with the formatting the way you thought it should be, and they would put the finishing touches on it and make any changes, and they'd edit and they'd submit it for you and get back to you. And the first time that I did this, the Titanic book was approved by every aggregator, by every storefront like Amazon Kindle, the Nook, Barnes, all of these, except for Apple, the one I really wanted it to, and it was rejected the first time. And what it turns out was, it took us 3 or 4 tries, but praise God, and we got it. And they explained what had happened. It had to do with the naming convention for the images that I used in the book for the Titanic images. They had a certain requirement for the naming conventions. And, everybody always says, oh, Apple's so, whatever the adjective you want to put in there, right? But the lady said to me, you know what? She said, here's what people don't understand. This was not Apple talking to me. This was the third-party aggregator, right? And she said, here's what people don't understand about Apple. She said, they're the only one of the stores that we work with where they actually have humans doing the quality assurance. There are actual humans who will sit down and read your book. Now, they're not reading it for content. They're not going to censor you. It's not like but they are reading it for making sure that it functions the way that it is supposed to function. I mean, I don't know if they'd censor you if there was, hate speech or something, but that's beside the point. Yeah, she said they're not looking at the content in that regard. What they're doing is they're making sure that everything about this book is going to be the best experience that it can possibly be for its readers on all devices. And she said they're the only one of the companies that we submit to that actually does that. And that is why they will reject things that others will accept, because they actually go through it and spend the time, that it takes to make sure it's done right. And so it was a very interesting experience. And now I've submitted directly to Apple. When I did the rewrite and did it on the iPad and so on, I now submit directly to Apple. Praise God. I've had no trouble. Now that I, understand what is expected and how to do it, I've had no issues with it. Praise the Lord. And there's another interesting story real quickly before we finish up here and get comments and questions. But the other interesting story is that the space exploration book that I submitted, that I told you about, I ran into a different kind of issue, but it really proves that Apple is very good to work with. And, again, a lot of these crazy stories, I don't know. But so I had a section in my space exploration book about links to other products that students might want to purchase. Like we had links to purchase astronaut ice cream sandwiches, and different things that might be fun for the class and all that. And in that, I had a list of recommended readings. And one of the books that I recommended was a book called Apollo 13. If you join us tonight, I'll talk about it. It was written by Jim Lovell, the commander of the Apollo 13 mission. And one of my absolute favorite books of all time. And when I, at the time, wrote that space course, that was back in like 2014, 2015, the Apollo 13 book was not available on the Apple Books store, or at that time it was the iBooks store. As a matter of fact, it was not available on any digital storefront at that time. The only place you could get it was on Amazon as a print soft cover book. So I put the link to the soft cover book. Well, I submitted the book for Apple to review, and I got an email saying that they had a concern about me referring to a different reading platform because of the compatibility and everything, that when I'm recommending a book, I should refer them to another Apple Books link because they're already reading it in Apple Books, and that we don't want this Amazon link in there. So obviously, if I could have done that, that's what I would have done. But it wasn't available. So I called the phone number. They have an actual phone number. And I said to them, I said, how do you appeal a rejection? I said, because I have reason to do that. And so they said, we'll get the issue escalated. They said, explain to us what your reasoning is. What's the appeal? I said, well, the reasoning is the book is not available in Apple Books. Absolutely, 100%. I said, anybody that knows me at all knows that I am an Apple person through and through. And, if I can refer you to Apple, I will. It's not available on Apple. And I said, furthermore, the link that I'm sending you, if they look at that link, it's not a digital book at all. So it's not like I'm referring them to Kindle. It was an actual print book. And she said, okay, we'll take the information. We'll get back. And I'm telling you, my friends, in less than 24 hours, praise God, I got an email. The appeal was accepted. The book was approved, and the book was live on the Apple Books or iBooks store back then. Now, since that time, that book, Apollo 13, has become available on Apple Books. So the next time I do a rewrite of that book, you better believe that I'll be taking out that print book link and I'll be putting in the Apple Books link, which is what I wanted all along. But it shows you that Apple is very willing to work with you. They're very kind. They're very reasonable people, but they want to have the best experience for their readers that they possibly can. So if you're going to delve into that aspect of things, it is very important that you spend some quality time learning the proper conventions, learning how to format your document, learning what is expected and what's required and what kind of hurdles you might run into. I've mentioned a few of them today, but certainly, it's a good, and then again, multiple tests, right? When you think the book is ready, create the EPUB yourself. Don't just go to publish, generate the ebook and get multiple copies in circulation, friends, family, coworkers, and show them the book. Let them read through it as well. Make sure that everything works, triple, quadruple check before you actually attempt to submit it. But also understand, which my second story was to tell you, that, if you do decide to go this route and you do get a rejection for some reason, that's not the end. They'll work with you to help you to fix the problem, and you can be sure that everybody's interested in making it a success as much as it's possible to do so. I hope that you've gotten by now that this is a really powerful, powerful app and a very accessible app. I mean, it's an absolute joy to work with, honestly. I really enjoy. I don't do it every day. I don't need to, but I do it quite often, whether I'm writing a document for a class that I'm teaching, or, for something else. It's the go-to app that I use unless I'm just writing notes. For notes, I use Notes. Imagine that. Uh, and, for free form, obviously, there are certain reasons to use that. But when I'm writing, a document of any sort, a letter to somebody, or a proposal, or writing a handout for people, as that iPhone one was that we gave as an example the other day. I use this, and I format these documents, and I do the page numbers if I need to. And it was really funny because I, of course, give all the glory to God. It's not me, it's him. But I just think this also speaks to how much of a gift from God this is, and the accessibility and so forth. My mom and I were working on a document. It actually was that handout, I think, for the class that I was teaching. We did 4 of them. But one of those, in the process, I added her as a collaborator, and I already had the document done. Really, I just wanted her to sort of verify it. And I think I may have asked her to insert the page numbers, just so I made sure they were in the place that she thought they best should be, and what have you. But the one time I did insert them too. But in any case, when she looked at the document, she said, what, there's really nothing I need to do. Um, she said, I forget that you know how to do all this stuff. You know how to format the document. You know how to, center the text. And, I said, well, I mean, praise God. That's what it really is. But it is, it's a very, very accessible app. And it is just a tremendous joy to work with, in my opinion. I really like doing it.
Once you do it, the more you learn, the more you remember where things are, and it just comes naturally to you. I mean, it's kind of like, the years using the Mac. I was in a call on Saturday when people were talking about where they came from the Mac, and I was a vet because I've been using the Mac for 14 years now this June. But I wasn't comfortable with using the Mac efficiently on a daily day basis, confidently, until probably 5 years after having it. But again, back then we didn't have the support that we give people today. I mean, I'm not saying you're going to learn it overnight, but it's certainly not going to take you 5 or 6 years to get comfortable with the way it does. But at the same time, that was during transitions too. I mean, we went from snow leopard to lion to mountain lion to the rest. But the big
Right.
one was actually from tiger to snow leopard to lion, because a lot of changes came in those 3 OSs. So, but this
Oh,
ain't a
yeah.
but
Oh,
this ain't
yeah.
a math class. But I'm just saying, it's just the same
Yeah.
concept. You gotta do it
Yep.
to know how to use it
Yeah.
and remember.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Get into it, and then you find out all the
Yep.
and use the simpler things. Use the simpler things that you know, and use them and use them and use them until it
And
becomes dire that you need that
that's
extra
right.
thing.
And
And
then
then
you'll
you learn
find out
that.
what you don't know, and you'll look it up. And I will be perfectly honest, because why would I hide anything? Uh, Absolute confession. I did want to show you the help system. I did think it was important to demo using the help system so you could use it for yourself. But I also needed the help system because I didn't remember how to insert a table of contents into the actual document. I knew how to view it and edit what was in it when I went there. I didn't remember how to insert it. So I mean, that was as much for me as it was for all of you. And we will see you next time. Class again on Wednesday. Take care, everybody.
Thanks for joining today's session. Didn't get your question answered? Want paid one-on-one training? Email us at support@ttjtech.biz or support@stiritup.com. And remember, stir is spelled with a U. That's STURITUP.com. I'm Trainer Cliff. Thanks for joining us. God bless. See you next time.